Welcome to the show, you guys. Hey, how's everybody doing? Yeah. Welcome to Comedy Emulator. I'm Joe Starr. I'm one of your hosts. This is Brock Wilbur.
I'm the other.
He is the other host. It's very nice to meet all of you.
That was very polite of you to laugh on that. That's not. Or is that what we do?
Yeah, this is going to be a very polite
show. We took care of her. Next.
And how are you, ma'am? That's great. Thanks for watching at home. If you're watching at home on your streaming devices, thanks for following along at DromeBox. This is going to be
.com.
This is going to be a fun show, you guys. We discovered a thing today that Amazon is doing. Comedy Emulator, brought to you by Amazon.com. It's not. It's really not. I'm going to follow.
If we say it enough, do they owe us money, though?
I think so. I think that's the way. It's like when you sign up and you're like, do your shopping, but put in my code. Did you know that?
Oh, we already got you. That's fine.
You didn't know you could do that?
No.
That's why the podcast makes no money.
Oh, okay.
We could have been doing that for years. I'm going to talk to the crane cam the entire show.
I'm going to talk to this side of your face.
Good.
This is our Mexican standoff.
I like it. This is our student.
Okay. We're up high now.
I thought you were supposed to be like, right, because this is our college student film. Keep looking at it.
In my head, this is the most Tim and Eric we've ever been.
Absolutely.
So
I don't know if that's good or bad. Did you find it?
Yeah, I found it.
Oh my God, we found it.
Found it because you messed up.
What did I do?
You'll see.
Okay.
Introduce it and I'll tell you where you went wrong.
This is our relationship, you guys. Welcome to the show. Amazon did a thing that I'm assuming I'm naming wrong called Pitch War.
Premise War.
Premise
there we go.
War!
That's where.
I knew mine sounded too much like Tech War. I knew it. They're doing a thing where I guess anyone can submit a movie premise and then people vote on ones that they like better, and I guess the winner gets their movie made. And they're amazing because anyone can just send a pitch, and anyone is a lot of crazy people.
This is the open mic of the film industry.
It absolutely is. Everybody doing their type 3 and working out their women issues.
Are these supposed to be movies, or can they be TV shows too?
They probably could.
Honestly, can't tell.
Let's pull one up, and we want to talk about two premises with you guys, and then we thought we could figure out which one we'll vote on as a group. Does that work for you guys? Yeah. Okay. First premise.
The Ones, thriller and suspense drama.
Ooh.
A Colombian counterfeiting network is infiltrated via a phony U.S. bank, led by the son of an aging underling. What does that mean?
What's an underling? First of all, we have to figure out what an underling is.
Let's figure out what a fake bank is first. Let's start there.
It's like it's candy money? I don't know. That's the first thing I went to.
Why would they be involved in counterfeiting?
They
already have money.
Well, maybe it's like chocolate coins that don't taste as good. Like
okay.
when it's like, oh, this one's kind of minty and I don't want it. Thanks, Grandpa.
And it's called The Ones, so maybe they just counterfeit $1 bills. Like that's been part of it.
Just really low stakes counterfeiting. So this man's the
We
son
made so many quarters, they'll never find us.
Is underling a weird word for dwarf I don't know?
No.
We don't know anything about this, but we do know that you're wrong right now, Joe.
Yeah,
Starr.
that's. If you expected yes-anding from me, I don't know why you.
No, I know. You've never paid money to
Versus When We Were 16 drama. When a terrible I thought it was going to be a terrible accent. When a terrible accent is revealed, like, oh, my waiter from Outback Steakhouse is not really from Australia. When a terrible accident is revealed to be a tragic act of irresponsibility.
What?
The truth shatters a group of teenagers' illusion of invincibility.
This is so good.
If your one sentence can't get the grammar right, don't
So for one thing, I already like this one better. So we have, I don't know, we need to sort of work through this. Like who are like hot actors and actresses right now? Youngsters that can be in this.
Both Francos.
Both Francos. And that really, well, no, probably it's a Hollywood film, so probably like 6 more white males. So both Francos. Kid from Hugo?
Yeah.
Kid from Hugo. He might be Spider-Man. So this might be a big, like, after he does his Disney Marvel stuff, this will be his, like, I'm coming back down, I'm just doing some indie stuff. It's going to be really good. Doing a tragic accident. I also like in the description that they just explain what an accident is in the premise. It's an act of momentary irresponsibility.
Yeah.
This whole movie is definitions. Let's get in the car.
What's that?
A combustion-based machine that takes us places.
Like a horse?
Indeed, but with wheels.
Okay, let's vote. Oh, there's the option to skip this battle? Can we just...
All right,
let's
okay.
opt out of the first one.
Okay, and let's just go by title with the other two, because we got to get moving.
Treasure Island, is that... Can you do... Internet, can you do that? Has
This
it been
is a
enough
movie
years?
I wrote called Hamlet.
And Red Cricket Girl.
We got to go Red Cricket Girl, right?
Red Cricket Girl.
Red Cricket
Yeah,
Girl,
we
absolutely.
voted.
Fucking Red Cricket Girl.
And when you vote, it shows you how well it's done. 100% of people picked Red Cricket Girl over
Goddamn
Treasure
right
Island.
they did.
Next battle.
Starring Miley Cyrus.
Oh boy, this is going to be hard. This one will have to go to the audience. Into the Dreaming.
Or versus
To Be or Not to Be Male.
Oh.
By the way, the first line of that is a UFO crashes. So
Done. Goes explodes.
Goes explodes. There we go. We voted on that one.
Welcome to Comedy Emulator. That's usually just where we cheer for no reason. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, Crane Cam. You're looking good. We've got a great show for you guys. Get it for Brock again. He'll be back up a little later. And we've got a great show for you, so we'll get it started. Your first comedian is one of, I haven't known him long, but he's one of my favorite comedians that I've seen working in Los Angeles. So funny. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Keith Carey, you guys.
One more time for Joe and Brock, everybody. Hello, all of you. Hello, internet camera. It is good to be here in the murder dungeon. This is a terrifying place where nightmares are born. I love it. I'm here with whatever the fuck is going on back there. Let's just start this off. I want to address the elephant in the room, by which I mean my shitty, melting nightmare of a body. I always hear one kind of, chuckle in the back. It's okay. Can that shit. I'm fine. It's cool. I feel good about this. I've been fat for a while. Real men have curves. I own it. I am a fat person, and I'm pretty good at it. There are certain circumstances, though, as me, where I get reminded that I'm not like everybody else. The worst of those is anytime I have to fill out an online dating profile. Because the first thing you do is they have the drop-down menu that says select your body type. And it's always skinny, medium, athletic. And I'm like, no, that's not going to do it. And there's always one more at the bottom that's the fat guy option, but it's always real pandering shit. It's just more to love, built for hugs. It's don't fucking talk down to me, Tinder. Don't treat me like I'm 5 years old. I want a menu that reflects my body type accurately. I want to see skinny, medium, athletic, sloppy lesbian hobbit, Jonah Hill between movies. What if the inside of a lava lamp was a person? And then Muffins fuckface or whatever the last one was. I don't know. I don't understand why fat dudes are so mopey. I know we're supposed to be sad, but ladies, you all know all this is more cushion for the dying alone. Went to a doctor recently. That was a weird experience because it was a new doctor. And what his mouth said when I walked in was, "Oh, it's good to meet you, Mr. Carey. Have a seat right over here. We're going to look at your chart." What his eyes said was, "Dude, you're fucked." This is when you know you're too big. When you walk into a doctor's office and you go, "Yeah, I've got a sore throat and my back hurts." And he goes, "Whatever. We're going to check your blood for diabetes." He called an audible on my whole shit. He made some choices. They ran all these blood tests. Check this out. As it turns out, I'm healthy. Don't you dare woo. No, that's so unfair to all of you. Like, some of you look like you've been to a gym this month and you eat kale and you know what kale is, and we're both gonna be okay. I demand a recount. Fuck that noise. That is not, nobody looked more disappointed than the doctor who had to tell me I wasn't dying. Like, that doctor looked like the coach in the movie Air Bud who has to let the dog play basketball because technically it's not against the rules. He's like, if it was up to me, you'd be out of here on your ass with no feet, but there's a loophole. Enjoy 30 more years of sandwiches. You'll be back. The one thing he told me to do is quit smoking, and I have a great plan. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep smoking, but then every time somebody comes up to me outside and is like, you know what, you should really quit, I'm going to be like, you know what, you're right, and throw it aside, and then walk off triumphantly. And that's better for everybody, because they get to feel like they saved a life, and I get to wait till they leave and then light another cigarette. Like, that's awesome. I get to be a guardian angel for their sense of do-goodery. I'm pretty happy about it. I wish I never started smoking. It's a dumb drug to be addicted to. Like, there are no cool side effects of cigarettes. Like, I understand why people do heroin. Heroin makes sense to me. Like, it might ruin your life, but you might write a dope jazz album on the way out. Like, there's a trade to be made. If you do crystal meth, your skin is going to fall off, but you're going to handle some carpentry. There's trades. These are choices you make. The only cool side effect of cigarettes is that it turns all your dumbest friends into medical experts overnight. I was at a party recently, and a buddy of mine cornered me, and he's like, dude, did you know that every cigarette you smoke takes 10 minutes off of your life? And I was like, dude, did you know you work at a fucking Quiznos, Chad? Maybe pipe down with the medical expertise. I'll worry about my lungs. You worry about your Philly cheesesteak game. Know your role in this ecosystem of ours. That's all I'm saying. I'm from Orange County, California, which means I was raised racist. I have since converted. No longer part of the faithful. If you've never been to Orange County, if you drive about an hour south of LA, you will get to the factory where they build angry white people. It is the birthplace of hate. When you drive in, there's a big flag that says, come for Disneyland. Stay for some pretty strong opinions about Mexicans. I'm trying to get it printed on the money there. I was raised poor and racist, which is a pretty perfect tornado of bummers. This is true, and I wish it wasn't. My stepdad, growing up, had a tattoo on his stomach of a swastika. You know the one. And then around the swastika, it said white power. First of all, boof. Second of all, I know for a fact, because he told me that he got these two tattoos at two separate times, and there's no way he got white power first and left all that room. So what I like to imagine is he gets the swastika first and then spends like 2 weeks just looking in the mirror, I don't know. I mean, I like it. Is it subtle? I feel like it's too subtle. Like, I know I don't like him, but will they know? Can we tag it up a little? Can you just get a little writing on there? By the way, when did we all agree that Old English was the official font of hate? I don't know when that vote was held. I would have gone with the Comic Sans. Did not get a phone call. It's hard, because I grew up in that family, and I was like the hippie. I was like the progressive, which was not a high bar to clear, as it turns out. Like, all that meant was I never yelled a racial slur at a water park, and that made me number one in the family. And I went from that world to the world of Los Angeles stand-up comedy, which, for anybody who doesn't know, is a little fucking touchy about race. It's basically a bunch of English majors competing for the title of most offended white person. It's a heated race between everybody who writes for fucking Jezebel. It's hard, man. It's hard because I have a lot of socially conscious friends who post things on Facebook about things they believe in, and I think that's great. I think we should all do that. The problem I have is all my white millennial friends are too easily distracted by 90s nostalgia. Like, I feel like that is the kryptonite to them giving a shit about anything ever. And I'll prove it. A few months ago, the Ferguson thing happened. They didn't indict that cop, and that was a big deal. And everybody I know was livid. And they were, we're going to blog in the streets, and we're going to change the world. And then the next day, the Jurassic World trailer came out, and the conversation changed a bit. Because there was still like a small pocket that was like, the world's in shambles, and everybody else was like, whatever, bro, dinosaurs. And then that was just kind of, I was just like, oh shit, police brutality in Jurassic Park. The 90s really are back. So that happened, and I figured, like, well, that's just bad timing. That's a one-off deal. Then a few weeks later, the Eric Garner case got thrown out, and the same thing happened. Everybody's, oh, we're going to change it. And then the next day, the Terminator trailer came out. Boom, same fucking thing happened again. All I'm saying is there's a lot going on in Baltimore right now. If you're an original cast member of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, keep your phone on. Your agent might be a Colin. It feels like a conspiracy at this point to me. Like, I feel like the police went to Hollywood at some point and were like, look, here's the deal. We're not going to get better. That ship sailed. So what we need you to do is just backlog a lot of nostalgia shit so that when we mess up, and we will, we can just chum the waters with that and distract the white children. Like, a few weeks from now, we're going to be watching the news, and the guy's going to be like, oh, another unarmed protester shot in the streets of Detroit. Oh, hang on. This just in, the Rugrats are back. Holy cow. Revolutionary news. You won't be able to breathe from laughter. Hollywood and the police, two groups of people who ran out of ideas 40 years ago. So now they just keep shooting the same stuff and wondering why everybody's upset. Oh, wait, it's very good. I deserve all of this and frankly more. I hope everybody watching on the internet is just doing backflips, just throwing shit. What else is going on? Who's gay? Okay. I realize that historically speaking, when the fat angry man goes, where are the gays? Raising your hand doesn't usually work out super awesome for you. I promise this is not one of those. I love gay people so much. What I love even more than gay people is fighting with homophobes on the internet. Fuck baseball. That should be our national pastime. That is the best. I got in an argument with a guy recently, and his opening line was, it's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. Now, that's like a dumb old cliche now. We've all heard it. It's pretty much beaten to death. But what I love about that saying is that at some point, someone had to think that up. Like, there was some angry redneck sitting in a trailer somewhere just fuming, just, ugh, I hate queers, but I love wordplay. What am I going to do? Like, what did that dude think was going to happen? Like, he was going to kick down the door to a gay bar and just start slapping appletini out of people's hands. Just, Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. And they were going to be like, let me check my Bible on this one. Oh, fuck, Steve's not even in there. What are we doing here, you guys? We fucked up so bad. I quit dick. Thank you, Jethro. I've seen the light. This guy's follow-up, though, he was like, well, I'm straight, and I'm worried that all these gays in America are going to try to convert me. Like, what? He's like, yeah, I'm going to be sitting around minding my own business, thinking about trucks and freedom, and they're going to sneak up on me in the night and use their faggot voodoo and turn me queer. I'm like, are you thinking of vampires? Because I'm pretty sure that's who does that. Like, I got news for you. I've been to gay bars. The hottest dudes are already gay. Nobody is waiting for you to walk in, Cletus. Like, I went to a gay bar last week to do a show. Every dude in there looks like they're made out of jawbones and fudge. It's magical. They're all just wearing jock straps and swaying in an imaginary breeze. Every dude in a gay bar looks like Hitler won, but also Mexican. Like, I don't... They were built in a lab. Also, that seems like faulty logic to me. Like, oh, I wasn't going to be gay, but you talked me into it. Fucking what? Like, look, I've met a bunch of Mormons. I'm still not a Mormon. Maybe just, I don't know, say no. Like, I feel like if you can get talked into sucking a dick, you were probably just gonna suck a dick. Like, it might not have been that one, but at some point somebody was gonna be like, dude, you, me, this, go. And you were gonna be like, that's on the bucket list and fucking hand. You're not gonna get hornswoggled into it. It's not green eggs and ham. I would not, could not, in a box with a fox suck these cocks. I am very poor. I am a broke man. I'm looking for a new job right now, which is hard because they want you to list your previous work experience when you fill out an application. And what they don't want to read is sometimes I go to strange bars and yell at strangers about my feelings. Compensation buffalo wings sometimes. I used to have a great job, though. I used to work at Disneyland, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have been to Disneyland before. And if you go to the park, you'll notice that everybody who works at Disneyland is the friendliest person in the world. And the reason for that is that we are all on fucking drugs. And you guys seem hip, you seem with it, I'm sure you smoke a joint before work, and that is adorable. But you're talking about marijuana, and I am talking about drugs. Like, drugs with a capital, drugs. This is a game we used to play at the office where I worked at Disney. We had an orange trick-or-treat pumpkin, like a little plastic bucket guy, and we had him hidden, and it was halfway full of candy and then halfway full of pills. And I know what you're thinking, what kind of pills? And the answer is yes. Now, the game you played every morning when you walked in is you reached in there and you shuffled it around without looking, and you grabbed 5 things, and then you ate all 5. And that game is called, oh shit, am I going to be alive in 8 hours? And the answer is usually very technically. I don't know if any of you have ever met Mickey Mouse after 4 Oxycontin and a grape Skittle. You were real invested in the magic at that point. Shit is for real. My favorite thing about working at Disneyland was you'd meet famous people all the time. And like 9 times out of 10, the celebrities who come through Disneyland are boring famous people. Like you walk in and it's just, oh, Mario Lopez wants to ride the teacups, fucking whatever. But every once in a while, somebody shows up who has no place being at Disneyland and it changes your life. One day I was coming into work and I was walking past a churro cart. And there was a line for the churro cart, and at the back of that line was Ice Cube. Now, some of our younger viewers may not know who Ice Cube is. Let me give you a refresher. Once upon a time, fuck the police was just an idea we all had. And then one man reached into the ether, snatched it up, and turned it into $1 billion and a career in children's films. I'm not really sure. Some weird left turns got took. I'm not sure how it happened exactly. But he's standing in line, and he's flanked by like 4 of like the biggest, blackest dudes I've ever seen. I think they're like his security team or something. And he gets to the front of the churro line, he's like on his phone, and he's like, yeah, let me get a strawberry churro. And then I see the kid working at the churro cart. It's my buddy Kevin. Now, 2 things you need to know about Kevin. Number 1, very innocent, sweet young man from Riverside, 19 years old. Number 2, I don't think Kevin had ever met a black person before. And if you go from no black people in your life to Ice Cube, that's a big day for Kevin. And I watch him start like stuttering and like freaking out, and I realize what's about to happen. He has to tell Ice Cube they're out of strawberry churros. And at that point, I find a bench and I sit down and watch. Now, I want you guys to do a little theater of the mind with me, if you will. Imagine for a moment that you're Ice Cube. You survive South Central, you beat the rap game, you have all the money you could ever need. How mad are you going to get that you didn't get the right flavor of fried dough? Now, if the answer is so mad that you call Kevin a motherfucker 8 times in a row, congratulations, you're Ice Cube, because that's what happened. He unloaded. He was madder at Kevin about the strawberry churro than he was at the LAPD about killing all his friends in the 80s. Like, he was real fucking mad. He's walking away, and I swear to God, the last thing he says, he goes, I'm going to be back. And I'm like, oh, shit, what's going to happen to Kevin? I followed him around for the rest of the day because I'm a terrible employee. And my favorite thing, first of all, I got to see him try and mean mug it on a merry-go-round. Merry-go-round, not a word. Fuck everything. Second of all, though, he was with like these big dudes, and I kept assuming like there was a wife and kids in the bathroom or on another ride or something. They never showed up. Ice Cube and a bunch of his biggest friends went to Disneyland alone. What is that phone call? Hey, yo, we rolling to Anacrime. Leave your bitch at home. Click. I like to imagine him later that night at home in bed. And in my imagination, Ice Cube wears old-timey Bert and Ernie pajamas and like a sleeping cap that's doffed to one side. Just fucking, Dear Diary, today I rode Space Mountain 3 times in a row. I took a picture with Pluto and he didn't say shit. I found a strawberry churro in Fantasyland. Fuck you, Kevin. All that shit. And I didn't have to use my AK. I got to say, it was a Disney day. Nap, dreams. Good night. Thanks, everybody.
My favorite Disney memory was we were taking a break. We were kind of standing around, catching our breath, and there was a family next to us, and they were like, "Do you want to go do Pinocchio?" And they had a kid, maybe 7 years old, and the kid said, "Hell no, sun's still up." And his dad just kind of stared at him, and the kid said, "Man, y'all don't even understand. Pinocchio at night is the business. And that's the best, I think, Disney visiting advice you can ever give someone. Just so your first time, Pinocchio at night, business, go. I promise you he'd be back, you guys, and he is. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Brock Wilbur. Put your hands together for him.
Keep it going for Keith Carey, ladies and gentlemen. Keith's going to be our Patton Oswalt, but like a better Patton Oswalt, because he'll never fight with Salon because Keith doesn't know how to read. These are true facts. Keith mentioned in his set that he's looking for a new job, and here is why. Because Keith is a great friend, and Keith did something very, very spectacular for me. Keith's day job right now is that he gives ghost tours on a haunted ship. And one day at a show, he was like, by the way, I've given up at this job, but I wanted to give you a little something. I was like, Keith, you're too good of a friend. What'd you do on the ghost tour? He's like, well, I have all these ghost hunters come in, and some of these guys take it seriously. They're like, yeah, I think the ecto in this room is like a 7. And Keith's like, yeah, it absolutely is. That's definitely a real science, and that's what our figures show too. But then he's like, there's a section in the ship where there's supposed to be a ghost of a guy that died on that ship, and I just tell everybody that guy's name when he was alive was Brock Wilbur. I was like, you're telling me that people are paying way too much money to go on a ghost tour and maybe see the ghost of me? That's the nicest thing any friend has ever done for me. He's like, that's not the end of it though, because Keith always has more. The rest of it is that the guy in question, when he was alive, was also a Nazi. I was like, so you just tell everybody? He's like, yeah, Brock Wilbur, pretty Nazi-sounding name. We can do that. He's like, no, wait, there's more, because it's Keith. Brock Wilbur killed himself in the ship, so you get into heaven because you took out a Nazi. Do you see the logic of this? I was like, can you just not tell people that story anymore? You're such a good friend. I'm thrilled to be back in LA. I flew into Wilmington, North Carolina for the week to do a comedy festival. No, come on. I flew literally into the city because we nearly crashed on our little plane. We hit the runway and then took off again immediately, and then the pilot came over the speaker and said, Mulligan, which I don't know. Sir, that's golf, and that's not what we're doing here. And then, I don't know if you've ever had that happen, but you're maybe 1,000% more nervous about landing now, because so far with the crew you've worked with, you're 0% for successful landings. Like, that's a bad thing to come off of. And I was very upset because I was afraid the last thing I was going to hear were the two women behind me arguing over whether or not Wilmington, North Carolina was an island. And one of them lived there. Like, that's not, she doesn't know. And then that gets in your head and like, well, all land is technically surrounded by water and rectangles are square. No, it's not that thing. Which I was mad that I was hearing that, because before that, the old guy sitting in the middle seat next to me, every time the stewardess had walked by on the flight, had hit the button and then said this verbatim. Excuse me, I would like a Pringles and 1 Dos Equis now. And for some reason, that was the funniest thing I've ever heard. A Pringles. Have you ever heard anyone? And then he would mime what a Pringles was. In case, a Pringle. It just looked like jerking off. It was like, a Pringles, you know how Pringles are. And 1 Dos, like Dos is 2, but the 1. And he would say Equis, like the drunker he got, it became Equus, like the horse rape play. A Pringles and 1 Dos Equis. And he ordered the same order like 5 times. So there's 5 Pringle cans, 5 Dos Equises just piling up. And I was like, I could die. This would be fine. North Carolina is a city, like, you've been to places where it's like, what is there to do around here? And they're like, we can drink. But this is where everyone 100% just does that, to the point where the downtown shuts down at sunset, like, unless you're a bar. And I was asking somebody that was closing up like a coffee shop, I was like, why do you do this? And he took a drag from the cigarette. He's like, you ever seen that show, The Walking Dead? Well, once sundown hits, you best get inside. And he was right, because about 15 minutes later, the sun was down, and I watched a chair go through the window of a bar for the first time in my life. Come on in. Free comedy show. You'll love it. It's going to be great. Wilmington just got Uber. Now they just got Uber. So there are 5 people driving for the entire city, which is good for comedians, because if you're a comedian, you know you can't drive in other cities because DUIs start to accumulate and they're expensive. I'm from Chicago, where we used to have a magic train that took you everywhere, and now I'm in LA, where if you're drunk enough, you're like, I get to be the engineer of the magic train, and that's when you're in trouble. So we got 2 Uber drivers, and our first 2 Uber drivers were like, so what are you doing this weekend? And they showed us, 2 separate dudes showed us that they'd already pre-purchased 9 tickets to the new Avengers movie, which, yeah, those last 8 are really going to hurt. And I was like, wow, they just really love Avengers here. So we got another Uber, and we're like, hey, are you pretty stoked for Age of Ultron? And the girl driving us says, is that a Transformers thing? And we're like, no, don't you have like Netflix? She said, what the shit is Netflix? Like, that's too big of a spectrum. Either you bought all the tickets to the Avengers or you don't know what Netflix is. So we got out of her car to get a different car just to be like, we have to know, like, is there somebody that lives in the middle? And our 4th dude, we were like, hey, so like, are you seeing Age of Ultron this weekend? And he said, no, but you want to know what we're really doing in Iran? And we're like, oh, whoa, I didn't see that the spectrum went that direction too. Either you've already memorized Furious 7 and you cry when you think about it, or you've written a book about books, or you know that jet fuel can't melt steel beams. Like, that's the fucking Uber. At the comedy festival, a very pretty girl walked up to me after a show and said, you're Brock Wilbur, you're my favorite comedian. And I said, there's no way that's true. That's not possible. You've not heard of me, but thank you, that's nice. And then the next sentence out of her mouth, she said the word faggot twice, unironically. And suddenly I very much believed her and just had a huge breakdown. Like, I've got to rethink everything I've ever said and done. What is my target market? Why does she love me? This is as bad as anything can be. I'm from a town called Salina, Kansas, which is not great. We made national news a few weeks ago because somebody punched a Walmart greeter in the face. Do you know how many like children you can punch and people will still apologize? Like, well, I get it, they're annoying. Like a Walmart greeter, that guy fought in a war and just smiles for a living. Like that's as bad as you can be at being a person. My hometown it kind of hit hard financial times last year, but it hit right between Halloween and Christmas, and you could see it because a lot of people that went really over the top on Halloween decorations just kind of left up the Halloween decorations and Christmased them up to make Christmas decorations, which it doesn't work like it doesn't. Oh, we got this Frankenstein, we'll put wings on it. It's an angel. No, you've made a Frankenstein that can fly. That's not no one. We got all these tombstones with puns on them. We'll put Christmas lights over the puns and it's fine. It's like, well, now at least like make it a Christmas evil pun instead of like, I'm a goner, be like, you'll be sorry. Like a Yule. See, you can have fun with this kind of stuff. At our hospital, they fired all the nurses because they ran out of money for nurses. And so they hired interns, which are just anybody that doesn't have a job. Not people trying to work in the medical field, just people so there can be like, hey, Jeff, go check on that wing. And Jeff just walks through the ring and like pokes people. And if they don't say anything back, he's like, okay, you can burn this one. That's all they know about medicine. And this hospital over the years has killed 3 different members of my family. So now whenever anybody checks in, I'm like, goodbye. Like, I look forward to the inheritance. This will be fun. My dad went in and they tried to give him a test for cancer and they gave him diabetes by accident. Jeff really fucked up on that one. They plugged him into a machine that apparently had 2 buttons. One said check for cancer and one said ruin his life. And Jeff just wasn't paying attention that day. And then they gave him a bill. Do you know what it is like to argue over, I'm not going to pay for the diabetes you gave me? But the one thing in my hometown that's doing okay is our sushi restaurant, the Kansas sushi restaurant. And if that is a red flag for you, it should be, because Kansas is the most landlocked state out of all the states. There's no chance that any of that can possibly be okay for you. But we've had a little sushi place, and all the Japanese people in town work there, like every one of them. If you're Japanese and move to town, you get a job there. But they did well enough that they bought a bigger restaurant, but they ran out of Japanese people to work in it, so they started hiring guys I went to high school with. And I think we already mentioned in the show about Outback Steakhouse and how you can't tell that they're not Australians that work there. And this is like a Benihana place where they cook the food in front of you and do the tricks and stuff. And it's weird to sit down and have your friend Mitcher come out from high school and immediately go into super offensive Asian character. Like, you saw the moment he went into it because his eyes narrowed. Like this is what he did. This was his, I'm Japanese now. And as Mitcher was trying to do like that onion tower that makes flames, He accidentally lit all the rice on fire, so we had to stop. And then when he was about ready to try flipping shrimp into my grandmother's mouth, he cut himself doing a knife trick, so there was just blood cooking all over the food. And I was the only person at the table to stand up and be like, we have to go. Like, why? Do you not smell the blood cooking? Like, that's... And here's the best part. I left town, and the place got busted with 30 health code violations, and it was front page news for the town. And to know what it bumped to second place on the front page is what shows how important this was. Health code violations here, and then the fact that we just solved like our city commissioner election by flipping a coin was second. Do you understand? Democracy fell through, but everyone needs to know about the Kansas sushi and the smell of blood. So that's been me. I've been Brock Wilbur. Thank you guys so much.
So funny, the equipment failed. You guys, Brock Wilbur just shut it down, and then he turned off the Ghostbusters containment unit, walked off stage. I like the idea that people would just let blood go in that restaurant because they're like, I think this is authentic. This is just how they do it. Don't be insensitive to culture and just, it's blood, right? It's rice blood. It's rice blood. I've seen Seven Samurai, I think. We watched it in World Civ. We did. Hilarious last second drop in, you guys. Also a regular here at DromeBox. Mr. Dave Child is here. Dave Child right up front. Dave Child will make you shit your pants laughing with only 20 seconds. And he's gonna do it right now. You do clap him on stage real quick.
Yeah. What a this is, yeah, you know,
Dave Child, ladies and gentlemen. Like a young Donald Glover. Just owning the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for your headliner tonight? Thank you again so much for coming to Comedy Emulator. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Anna Seregina, you guys, bring her up to the stage. Yeah!
I am a comedian. Thank you. I will be here all week. I am a comedian. And I will be here all week. I am a comedian, and I will be here all week. This man knows. what I'm talking about. I am a comedian and I perform at events like graduation and weddings and divorce. I performed at my parents' divorce. Tough crowd. Do you? This man knows. Do you think it would have been difficult to be a comedian in the Ice Age? You would perform in front of mammoths. You would say, "Thank you, I will be here all week." But you won't. Due to extinction? Tough crowd. I just flew in from Russia. And boy, do my arms feel like a pigeon. But don't throw rocks at me. Tough crowd. I am a comedian and I do different types of comedy. Topical, personal, reflexive. I'd like to do comedy for you tonight. Would you allow it? Number one, topical. White House Correspondents' Dinner? That is a joke. Weird Loners TV show on Hulu. Do you know this? Weird Loners. Oh, it's true. Hulu. Yeah. Do you know this? This man doesn't know what I'm talking about. Weird Loners. Bad Judge. Good grief. Do you not like this? Do you not like any of this? Do you know this Sopranos ending? Do you know this Sopranos ending? Do you know? Do you know what is this? Do you know? Oh my goodness. It's a big... So they had this, Sopranos. Oh, hello, this Italy. Do you know? Well, a big pizza. Do you know this? Big pizza? Do you not know big pizza? So they had this show, Sopranos. They order a big pizza and then black ending. Why? It's not a joke, I just want to know why. That was the end of my topical material. I'm going to move on to things that people say in Russia, but then they say here different. Or you like this, or this is what you like. You like a person standing in front of you, very afraid and making fun of difference. Is this comedy? Do you know this? Comedy? Oh, sit down. Big comedy. Do you know this? In Russia, they say, they don't, but in America, they say, one apple, Do you know this? One apple? Do you know? Oh, wow, one apple, one day. No doctor. Do you know this? This man doesn't know what I'm talking about. They say, oh, you know, one apple, take it! No more doctor. What if there is no apple? What if there is no doctor? What if there's never been a doctor in your whole town? Do you not like this? Do you not like any of this? They say, oh, the grass. Do you know this? Grass? Do you know that? Oh, grass, oh, greener. Other side, go there. Don't come here, you know, this grass. They say the grass is greener on the other side. What if there's never been grass in the whole town? What if the whole town has been wiped out by pesticide? You don't like this? You don't like any of this? I'm going to move on to men and women are so different. Men and women, do you know this? Do you know men? Do you know this, men? This man does not know. Men and women, do you know? Men and women are so different. Oh my God. Men and women. Oh no. Oh no. Oh man. Oh boy. Man. Okay. Do you Men and women are so different. Because a man can come over to your house. You're sleeping. Do you know this? Sleeping? Do you know this? Having a sleep? Oh, just sleeping. Man can come over to your house, stand over you, breathe loud. The man, wake up. You have to wake up. He says, go with me. No, I don't want. Do it. 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 I don't want. Stand over you, demand it. Come with me. But women have ponytails. This man knows. Men and women, oh my God, so different. Because men work on construction sites. Do you know this construction? Do you know this site? A man work in a construction site. You walk by just having an afternoon. Do you know this? Just having, oh, we have to go to the litigator's office, right? A man in a construction site though, come here, stand by me, breathe on me, walk with me, do it, let me look at you, do it, do it. But women can take a long time ordering at a restaurant. Men love sports. Do you know this? Sport. Oh yeah. A man, oh, sitting down. You know. Do you know this? Do you sitting down? Baseball. Do you know this? Baseball. Baseball. Do you know this? Do you know baseball? Do you know this? Like baseball. Do you know this? Do you know? Do you know baseball? Do you know this? Baseball. Do you know this? Baseball. And then a woman. Oh hey, little voice come by. Hi, do you want snacks? Because you know I know sports make you big hungry. And do you know this? I just made little snack. No, I don't know. I watch base. Do you know this? Baseball. Do you know this? Base. Do you know baseball? And then I made you little snack. Go away. But women take a long time to get ready. In the mirror. You know this? In the mirror, get ready. So men and women are very different. Bernie Sanders. Good name. Good name for a great guy. No comment. Do you know this? O.J. Simpson. Do you know this? Oh, O.J. Simpson. Do you know this? Black man. White car. No, thank you. Do you not like this? I have very strict restrictions on being able to stay in this country. Please like this. Please like this immediately. I have 24 hours and my time is running out. That is American trash. I don't take that. Gypsy Kings, do you know this band? I love music. Do you know this? I love music. Do you know Gypsy Kings? Do you like this? I can't hear. I don't know if you like this. If you don't tell me, there is no way for me to know if you like this. Do you like this? Gypsy Kings, do you know this band? You don't know the Gypsy Kings? They have this song, it is called Bambalaya. But do you know what gypsy means? Do you know? They're not answering, I don't understand. Do you know? Do you know who a gypsy is? It is an enemy of the state. It is enemy number 1. It is public enemy number 2. It is public enemy number 3. So when they say Bambalaya, do you know the song Bambalaya? Bambalaya, no thank you. That was my best joke. You don't like my best joke? Why did they say that the littlest chicken is the hardest to kill? This is a Russian saying, do you know this? The littlest chicken is the hardest to kill. Because he is your friend, that's why. You like this, really? You like this? Because he's so little, do you know this? He's so small, but it's dinner, do you know? It's dinner, you have to go after it. You have to make it bleed for you. But he's your littlest friend. And when your mother's not paying attention, do you know this? Oh, your mother's not paying attention, do you know this? Hello, mom? No, not for years. For 10 years, she don't look at you. She don't look at you. She don't even acknowledge you. So who do you have? You have a little chicken. It's your only friend. Do you know this? Your only friend. But then you have to kill him with your own hand. Do you know this? Your own hand? A lot of people are avoiding eye contact with me. But in conclusion, one thing I love about America is the millennium. I believe that the millennium will be the year that we all thrive. And I have come here in 1998 and have not left since. My time here is about to run out. And I keep waiting for this millennium to start. When does it start? They never said. They said the album come out, wait for it. You know, they said the album came out. Is he into Scientology? We don't know. But I love this Will Smith. I love him. When is this millennium going to come up? Because that is the year that I think I will be allowed to stay and they will expand all rights for me. But no, this millennium, it never comes. It never leaves. It's an illusion, like Las Vegas. Do you know this, Las Vegas? Have you ever been? Thank you. I will be here all week.
guys. Oh my God. Holy shit, that's our first comedy emulator, you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Give it up for Brock, for Keith, for Anna, for this mysterious gentleman. Thank you guys for coming out, and we will be back soon. Thank you guys. I'm Joe Starr. Good night.